So I haven't gone live on here in a while, to be honest. And there's something just, it is strange, it is weird, and I don't quite get it. That happened in my TikTok live tonight, to be honest, and it's automotive related. So the thing is, there's this guy that comes into my lives, and he doesn't really know as much as what he's talking about, and he's like adamant about this stuff, and we're proving him wrong all the time on his stuff, but he's still like very adamant about it, and that's fine, whatever. There are some people like that in the car hobby, but it's fine, right? And he's been in a few of my live streams on TikTok, and well, beyond that, I've been having some other problems. Like tonight, he was being very weird when it came to, because like he asked me, so how much would it take to um how much would it take to finish your car? And I just threw out a number roughly just to finish what the motor work I want to do, which is around 3 grand. I thought, like, because like some people will just inquire and then nothing, and then he kept asking about it. He asked me like 3 or 4 different times. I'm like, dude, I already answered you. And then he kept asking, like, this is this for a race car or is this for your car? It's like, I already said it's my car. Like, he just kept repeating himself over and over and over again, and I was just kind of weirded out by it and being really, just very confused by it. And then um he kind of he offered to give me the money for that, and I'm like, I feel very weird about this because, again, I don't really know you that well. You're just some random guy that's been in a few of my lives, and you followed me for a while, and I get that. But again, it's very, very strange. And I don't know how I really feel about this. And I figured I'd just go live. I'm gonna do it just like a video, but like, how do I really turn this into a video? So it's a live stream instead, that people can see later on as well. And I'm I don't know how I properly feel about this. And like this guy again, he's very strange. Um and like a lot of his automotive stuff is wrong, and we correct him, and he doesn't really listen to us at all. And I sometimes will have a guest on the live, and like when I say us, it's just like me and like the moderators and everything like that. And he pissed one guy off in our chat and he left. Um and it's weird because he's not inherently doing stuff wrong, but that would like we would normally ban people for. But it's just I'm I just don't know with this guy, and I don't really believe him much either. And it's weird, and like because normal people typically don't just offer to get your engine built for you, right? Because that's like he claims that this is not a lot of money for him. Like that this is not like hundreds of thousands of dollars, like tens of thousands of dollars. It's only like 3 grand. But that's really thought it was a rough number, because I thought like, okay, that'll get like the machining done on the block, I think, and that would get me, better internals and stuff like that, and that might at least get it ready for boost in the future, right? That's kind of what I was shooting for with that, and yeah, I just don't know. And also, like, as a woman in the car hobby, I feel weirded out by it too. And because yeah, it's like it's an uncomfortable sort of feeling too. Um and even like as my friend Taylor, who, good friend of mine, she's one of my moderators in the chat, and she was talking about it too, and just saying how weird it was. Like we were just messaging each other back and forth before I started this live. And yeah, like that's the one thing. Like I have goals with my car, but I kept trying to tell him, it's like, no, you know what? I just want to get the header on my car first. And once I have the header on my car, and then I get used to that and like that, then I can move on to other modifications that I want to do to the car and stuff like that. And and because just kind of like really adamant about it. And then like he said that like I could say no, and I didn't say no to him, not yet. I probably will just say no because again I'm just weirded out by it. And like and he mentioned that he could do it like piece by piece. I'm like, how are you gonna do it like piece by piece? Because you can't. It's machining work on the engines. Like one thing if he said like, oh yeah, that I would, and it's probably gonna be like custom sort of internals too, because well yes you can buy some of these parts. You can't really get like forged sort of internals that way. Like they have to be custom built, which $3,000 might not even cover that, to be honest. It was just a rough number that I thought of in my head. Because I know like the average engine to be rebuilt is like $1,500, so I just like doubled that. And one of these things. So, anyways, so with that all said, because yeah, like I don't need a lot of money to get the header on. Like I think I need maybe about $200 because I don't know how much it's gonna cost to get it hooked up to the rest of the exhaust. Haven't a clue. I can obviously install the header myself. I've got the gasket, I've got the header bolts. I'm ready to go with that sort of thing. But I don't have the I don't have the skills to actually like hook it up to the rest of my exhaust because it is like there's gonna be welding involved and there's gonna be like cutting of the exhausts that are currently on it involved and all blah 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 blah, right? So it's one of these things, and by like after Christmas, that's probably when it's gonna get done, more than likely. Because I should have some money by then. It might even get done after this weekend, to be honest. I just need to see where my financials are at because I should be selling some valve covers on Sunday. That'll net me, about $150, and that'll be good. But yeah, to be honest, like I hope that everybody in here though is having a wonderful evening because, like I said, mine's just a little weirded out by that guy, and thank you. To be honest, I wish I could have the really awesome like vibes and the music going and stuff like that in here, but I can't really do the music on here that I can do on TikTok. That's what I like about TikTok is that I can actually like play music and actually have just some background stuff going on, right? Where on here I really can't do that because it'll just get demonetized, and if it can also get copyright strikes if I have music on and la da 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 da, you know how it goes, right? And I don't want that. So, this is stuff that I'm figuring out, and with my car, to be honest, I want to build it a certain way, and as I'm sure if you're a fan of my channel, you know why I want to build it the way I do and stuff like that. I did an overview of like why I'm doing it the way I am about 2 months ago, I think, and I haven't had much content roll out in the last little while. Stay tuned. There will be more content coming in the next little bit. Like the next video is probably going to be on the Capri because I haven't done any Capri content in a while, and it'll be actually like working on the Capri, getting that all ready to go, ready to be good again. Hopefully, because we'll see with that car. Because yeah, like what I need to do with it, because like I think that to fix it, drop the gas tank, clean it out, replace all the rubber lines on it, get it back in the car, and be fine, right? And hopefully that'll do the trick. And then replace the carburetor too. But I have a new carb for it, so although I should probably get a carb kit just to go through that carb and make sure it's all good. Because it has been in a box for like 30 years, so there's that. But yeah, and then with my Mustang, and I think the reason why it's down on power, I always discounted the carburetor being the issue, but I think there's some debris in the carb, to be honest. That it's not that bad, but it's bad enough to where, hey, it's just slightly blocking fuel flow, like from the jets, and maybe that's why it doesn't have the power that it has, and maybe it's just slightly fuel flow is decreased because of it, right? But it's just one of those things, right? And I just need to get a nicer day to do that on the car. It's just to take the carb off, clean it out, put it back in the car, and hopefully that fixes all of my issues that I've been having with the car as of late. But we'll see, to be honest, like, if that'll do the trick, because I hope that does the trick, because if not, then I'm out of ideas. And also, I should get better fuel economy because right now fuel economy isn't great. It's okay, but it's not amazing. So cleaning out the carb should do the trick. Because like the one thing that I didn't clue in is that carb, it was sitting on the shelf in my buddy's shop for like a couple of months. It probably got some dust inside of it, and not enough to make it just run like crap, but enough to where it impedes, it a little bit. That's all, right? So that'll be next, and like I said, I'm waiting for a warmer day, which Monday or Tuesday should be a warm enough day to do that on the car, and then I can tackle the Capri and be all good. But yeah, it's just tonight with that guy, I just don't know with him, and and how I can really deal with this guy, because again, it's strange, it's very very strange, and I wish I had better things to say about it, but I don't. Because again, this guy, just his rhetoric and stuff like that is strange, and how he is weird. Because he always he repeats himself a lot, and we're always so confused at what he's talking about too. This is also a guy that has a lot of his information wrong. Like he claims that there were interceptor Tauruses, like police interceptor Tauruses, that had 5-liter V8s in them. But in reality, it's like I told him, it's like the only V8s that were ever put in a Taurus period was a 3.4, and that was in 96. And he claims this was an 88. So it's like, no. The SHOs in 88, those had 3 liters in them. Very awesome 3-liter Yamaha tuned motor. But, yeah. And, because my gut feelings are just it screams no at this guy, because again, it's just weird. It's very weird. And because normally when people, when they ask when they ask for that sort of thing, and it's funny that at the beginning, because I said right away I don't really want a handout this way, but yet he said did I say that I was going to do that? I said no, but that's usually what comes after I say that sort of thing. And then after a while, he went into that and he offered, and then again, and I felt weirded out again. So, yeah. And because the one thing is, this guy, just because of how he is, he might just get a ban from my TikTok lives. Which, if you don't know, I do TikTok lives all the time, and my TikTok lives are a lot different because I have music going. I can have guests on the lives every now and then too, and it's always a really fun time, and I have really good vibes and everything in the chats, and that's just that whole thing, right? But yeah, it's just yeah, that's the one thing. And by the way, exactly, and he probably does, Peter, to be honest. And by the way, welcome to the live. Thanks for tuning in, to be honest, because it's nice not to just talk to myself about this and just to do this, because I was going to do this as its own video, but I'm like, I don't know how I would actually do this video and title it properly and stuff like that, so just screw it. Let's just do it this way. And who knows, I might actually make a standalone video about this weird interaction in the car scene later. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't had a video in a while, so I'm running out of video ideas. And that's the thing. With winter, it's always tough. It's always tough to do videos in the winter. So, and there's only so many cold starts you can do before it gets really boring for me anyways. And I don't want to do all those because I get views for weird reasons. So, yeah. But, that's how it goes. And being, like I said, a woman in the car hobby, you always wonder, because it's one thing if, if I was a guy and how it would be when it comes to that. It would be a lot better, probably, for these sort of interactions that way. Because this way, it's weird. It's weird. Weird. And, because he said that, I'm impressive to him, which, again, how he said that was kind of weird, but I get that like people are impressed with like my car knowledge and stuff like that, and what I'm able to do with my cars, and etc. 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 Right? It's just that whole kit and caboodle that way. But uh, I don't know. I'm I am just I just feel a type of way about it. You know? It's it's strange, it's weird, it's that sort of thing. But yeah, because like this guy, and like I mentioned, right? Like the thing is, because like I said, he's been on a few of my lives. Don't get me wrong. I've seen him in some contents. He's followed my channel for a while, and it's also like one thing if he offered. So let's just say that he offered like something, albeit this can be big, but technically like small. Let's just say he offered, well, hey, you know what? I know you want to get a cam for your car. I would, if you want, I would offer to buy the cam for you, and I could just have it shipped to your shop or whatever, and you can get the cam installed. I'm like, okay, that's a little different. That's just like a couple $100, not a few $1,000s. That way, because like that's the one thing. Like, if people want to offer me parts, I won't say no to them. Depending on what it is. And even if I can't do something with those parts, I will find somebody to do something with those parts and that sort of thing, right? And like, I have goals with my car and stuff, yeah, but like my goals aren't very high or anything. Like, I want to basically beat up on stock Aero GT Fox body Mustangs. That's my goal, and it's my little inline six, which is definitely possible with everything I have planned with it, with everything I'm gonna do. But yeah, it's just it's just weird, very weird. But because I have, and like I said, and I have had people offer me stuff in the past too, but they have been very strange about it. Like, there was a guy that I remember a comment that he made on my channel here, and he asked if I could sit on his lap while smoking a cigarette and trying to start my car. Weirdest freaking comment ever. And apparently he's somewhat local to me. I don't know exactly who he is. But, and after I said, like, dude, that's just weird. What the hell's wrong with you? Then, a little while after that, he offered that I could use his shop. And I'm like, dude, you said that weird ass thing to me. And I feel very uncomfortable about that. I'm not going to be anywhere near you or using your shop. Thank you. I don't care. I will suffer in the cold before I deal with that. No, thank you. But, what can you do, right? It's just one of those things, and like, and don't get me wrong, like, I like that, like, because I understand, like, my channel gets the sort of attention that it does because I happen to be a female in the car hobby, right? If I was a guy, I'd probably have like half the subscribers I do, to be honest. I wouldn't be shocked about that. Coincidentally, people probably wouldn't argue with me as much if I was a guy, when it comes to automotive knowledge, but because I'm a woman, it's just how it goes. And it's fine. Like, I don't really complain about it and whatever else. I just deal with it, and it's fine. I have the knowledge to back up my my stuff, right? But there's stuff I don't know, obviously. Right? Like, that guy was very, very strange. And yeah, and it can be uncomfortable being a woman in the car hobby at times. I don't get why people are the way that they are. And just, yeah. And I wish it was different. Like, I wish that I would just be treated the same as like guys in the hobby that way, where I wouldn't get challenged on my knowledge, and I wouldn't have to prove myself. I wouldn't have to be objectified as much. But it's not how it is. Like, there are some enthusiasts that are absolutely amazing that don't do that. But there's a lot that actually like do that, and it makes me uncomfortable. And even like my friend Taylor, like she was very uncomfortable with the whole interaction with this guy's name. That way, and I was just so weirded out by it. And luckily, it was towards the end of the live, and like my phone was dying, so it's just like it was perfect. Right now, it's plugged in, and it's all good because I can't. I wish I could do it, have it this way on TikTok, because then I could be live for a lot longer because I can have it plugged in. And no big deal, but because I have to have it, straight up and down, it just doesn't work out very well. But it's one of those things. Now, alternatively, like if I had a good enough computer, like yeah, I could go live on TikTok on a computer, but I just don't. My laptops, like my laptop, won't even turn on. My dad's old laptop is just it's falling apart. It's terrible. My desktop, I could maybe do it on, but it's just too far away to try and do anything with the webcam setup and stuff like that, and it'd be kind of a pain in the ass to run it through that. So it's just, yeah, it's one of these things. But sorry, like I got sidetracked on my conversation. But that's welcome to me. I have ADD and stuff like that. Oh, and I'm not letting it get to me. That's the one thing. Like, I was weirded out by it, but like, am I gonna let it affect me? No. I'm just gonna talk about it in a bit, and then it'll be fine. It's no big deal. Because that's the one thing. If you can't like deal with weirdos and stuff like that, and just assholes and whatever, you shouldn't be a content creator, because it's gonna be impossible to not have that stuff, right? And like, because how many times that people will talk about just weird ass stuff, because on TikTok it's a totally different community than here on YouTube. YouTube is awesome. I don't really have issues with like people that are trolling on here. I don't have issues with like any of that. But on TikTok you do. There's a ton of trolls on TikTok. And like luckily, my moderators are fantastic and they do a good job. And there's a lot of like, I'll get a lot of sexist stuff, or I'll have people that'll tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about, and then I'll just completely school them like as soon as they say that. And that's one of these things. But like I said, I don't let the stuff get to me at all. It's not worth doing that. It's worth talking about, but then just dropping it after the fact, right? Because it's just one of these things. And like I said, I might make a video about this later, and just make another. Actually, you know what? I can make a part 2 from that interaction, and then talking about other interactions I've had with how it's like to be a woman in the car hobby. Because the first video about that, I just used text messages, comments, sexist stuff, everything that I could find that was directed towards me or towards women that way, that was from my content. It's kind of a, like, there were people that had no idea what we can go through as women in the car hobby. And, like, and I'm lucky to a certain extent, because, like, my loves for cars are, like, classic cars and stuff like that. They're not what some women have. And, like, and I have the knowledge also to back it up, too, but, like, because there are some women that just have, like, just basic cars in the car hobby, and they get, like, just clowned on so bad. It's pretty sad. I don't understand why. It's, like, why be that way? Why do that? Because I don't care what somebody drives. I love their enthusiasm, and if they have a love for their car, that's all that matters. My opinion doesn't matter on your vehicle, right? And like, I'll give my opinions on people's vehicles if they want me to. But and there's a way like that I'll do it if there's something I don't like about the vehicle, but I, but there's lots of stuff that I love about the vehicle. Like, I'll just kind of say, like, as an example, if the wheels aren't really to my taste, I'll just say, I mean, I love the car. The wheels aren't really to my taste, but hey, to each their own, right? And it's not really a bash against the car. It's just giving your personal opinion that way. And that's kind of the way we should do things. Like, and I remember replying. Actually, this was last year. I think replying to this one TikTok comment on a friend's sort of TikTok profile because she happens to drive a Mazda Speed 3, and this guy basically just comments like, "Hey, it's just a Mazda 3. Why are you hyping it up or whatever?" And I just replied to him, "Go, that's actually a Mazda Speed 3, and that is not just a basic Mazda 3, and that motor like has the same motor that's in like the EcoBoost Mustang now. It's a very similar engine, anyways, and it makes like 270 horsepower. It's a pretty badass little motor in those cars." Um, but even I replied like afterwards and just said, it doesn't really matter though. Even if it was a Mazda 3, so what? She loves her car. She's building it the way she wants. Why do you care? Why are you voicing your opinion that way? Of like your very negative opinion, right? Because there's a lot of the time that that stuff just comes out and it just looks so bad, and especially in comments, like where there's no tone whatsoever to comments, right? And a lot of the time we just think negatively on a lot of these comments because, well, a lot of them are actually negative. But it's just one of these deals. And, it's pretty sad and just how people are and stuff like that. But, what can you do, right? And like I said, I'm not, like, I never let this stuff get to me. There's only a couple of times where comments have, like, really gotten to me. And when that does happen, it's just because there's a big influx of it. Like, when I made, there was this, so, that one video, like I mentioned, that I made of just, like, sexist comments and any of the text messages that I've got that have been weird and, all this different stuff. Like, I made that compilation video of just those sort of messages and comments and stuff. A lot of those were in response to a video that I made, which was the No Boys Car Club does their first ever car show, and a lot of people were upset with the name. But the thing is, like, that name, the reason why it was called that is just due to the fact that like a lot of stuff, just that it a lot of stuff in the car hobby goes against women, to be honest, in the car hobby, and it's sad. It's very sad, and I wish it didn't, but it does. I've experienced it before a lot, and I know my friends have experienced it a lot, and it's pretty sad. And now, as I've gotten to be a bigger influencer and stuff like that, that's actually happened less and less for me. But I know a lot of women that it still happens to them anytime they go to a car meet or whatever. They feel just kind of like alienated and excluded and whatever else, and because they also might not have the knowledge. When it's interesting, because if you're a guy and you go to a car show and you don't really know what you're talking about, you're not really excluded. But if you're a girl that way, you can easily be excluded. And even when I've gone to car shows, and car meets as a woman, I've been excluded from the conversations a lot of times, even though I have great input into what they're talking about, but they just don't want to do it. So it's like, okay, fine, whatever. So yeah, but that's just kind of where I'm at with this sort of stuff, and it's disappointing. It's disappointing with this sort of thing and how people can be, right? And I wish that as humans we were just better, and yeah. But to be honest, it's just how it goes. And as kind of like a hard right turn here, because I'm just really excited though, to be honest, with like to get my car sort of fixed, which again, it's not going to be much because, like I said, I think there's just a little bit of like dirt and like dust inside the carburetor that's just making it not flow the fuel as like properly. So as a result, it has the reduced power, and also it's having the issues with like cold starts, right? So that's my thinking on it, anyways. So I'm gonna, like I said, when it's warmer, outside, I'm going to remove the carb and clean it up, and then hopefully that does the trick. And if not, then I don't know. But hi, Saber. And oh, it's my kitty cat. And oh yeah, that is everything with women. To be honest, it's kind of sad. But hi, buddy. What, are you gonna attack me? Hmm? Yep, he's attacking me. Nah. So just petting you, sir. I'm petting you. Can you let me pet you? Hey, Saber. Anybody? No? Okay, are you gonna jump down? I understand if you do, Kit Kat. That's all fine. I was just screwing around with my cat, but and I'm just excited for like when I also like get the header on my car and stuff like that. Cause like I said, I just need a little bit of cash, and then Saber. Oh, like that's one thing. Like Saber is really camera shy. Like I think he wanted to like jump down, but I was like, no, hang on. I just pet you and whatever else. And then he started attacking me a bit, but it's because I think he was thinking that I wanted to play when that wasn't my intention. Are you on down, buddy? Hey, are you running down? Looks like you were. There you go, buddy. That's one thing. Like with my cat, he's 24 years old, so he's a very old man, to be honest. And that's not like 24 in like cat years. No, that's 24 in human years. I've had him for 22 of those 24 years. So. And he's just a wonderful kitty. But yeah, and like because if this is gonna happen, I don't even know because I've been waiting a month. I don't know if this is ever gonna happen. Because I was supposed to get like Koni shocks and springs for my car, and like an MSD box and like some tools that I could use. Like as an example, I don't even own a Cripper. It's kind of funny that way, but I don't own one. And I think he was gonna give me like a vacuum gauge, to be honest, which would have been nice to to have too. So, and there was some other stuff that I think he was gonna throw in too, but he's been having issues trying to get that sent out because like his mother's been in the hospital and stuff like that. And I understand he's just not devoting the time to get that stuff to me. I completely understand. It's just like frustrating because like he told me that he was gonna send it out like over a month ago, and it's just all this stuff has happened, and it happens. It's not a big deal. But yeah, I'm just very, very, very excited for how the car is going to be coming soon. And just with the improvements that it's going to have, because it's going to completely transform the car. Like, the header is going to do a lot for it. And, because, like, that's going to add in the neighborhood of, like, 40 or 50-ish crank horsepower. Because of just how restrictive the stock manifold is. It's going to be awesome. Like, and I won't know for sure until I have it on the dyno. Which, lucky me, I've got a dyno that I can run on anytime for free. So, especially if it's at an event, which our first event actually is going to be happening May 11th or May 13th. I think it's May 11th for our Mother's Day event. So, that'll be good. That'll be fun. And that'll be 1 year since I like kind of volunteered for the first show. So, it'll be good. It'll be fun. And then yeah, my car will be on dyno. We'll see how much power it makes that day. Unless if he happens to have the dyno running prior to that, because I might run it out and then see what it makes on the dyno, right? So, yeah. But so now, yeah, because it's one of these things with my car is it's just exciting to get it to where I've always wanted it to be, and to have it, as this whole thing. Because, like I said, I only want to beat up on stock Aero box body GTs, which is people say it's a tall task, but in reality, because of how little my car weighs, it's actually a little easier because I have not quite like around 500 pounds. I'm 500 pounds essentially lighter than a lot of these cars. So that's a big plus, right? Big plus. Go Ford, go blue. Hey, I drive my Fords, and my Fords are fun. So the exhaust right now, I think it's actually stock sort of, like it's custom tubing all the way back in the exhaust, but I think it's the same thickness throughout. I think it's 2.25, but it is dual exhaust though. So wait, you have a Ford GT, like the mid-engine badass car, and which one would you have too? Do you have the one that was made from, what was it, 03 to 06, or do you have the new one with the EcoBoost motor in it? Either or, badass, and that's really freaking cool. I would love to experience one properly, but I've never have. I've seen them in person, but that's about it. It'd be cool. That's like one of the dreams of like, hey, if somebody just like threw me the keys and say, hey, you want to review this? Hell yeah. You have both? Dude, that is badass. Not gonna lie. Like, that is just so damn cool. 05 and a 19. That is really cool. And oh yeah, it was made 05, 06. Yeah, okay. That I couldn't remember exactly the years, to be honest. But hey, you're welcome. I wish I had that kind of money, but I don't. Like it's why I drive what I drive, but I drive fun. Like my cars are still fun. They're just slow. And I'm okay with them being slow for now. They will eventually be, well, not as fast as your GTs, but fast for what they are. And yeah, like, because that Capri, I'm not really thinking of adding a lot of performance to the Capri, but the Mustang is the one that's more of the project that way. And oh, of course, like, I seriously doubt if you had those two cars, like, you're not getting handouts at that point for those. Because even people with, like, rich parents, like, the parents aren't going to donate them newer GT that way, because they're almost impossible to get, because Ford, like, strangleholds you into, hey, you have to be a certain person to actually own a GT. The newer ones, anyways. Which, it's cool. Because there's people that actually are, like, very famous whatever else that got denied getting one, right? Oh, exactly, and that's the one thing, Peter. Like, and I love my car. I enjoy my car a lot. It's a lot of fun, and especially having it as a manual now. Just rolling through the gears and just having fun that way. And like the most fun I've ever had driving that car is when I took it to the track. When I had that track day, it was just it was such a blast. And I'm definitely gonna do that again this year, 100%. Figure it out for sure. And it's just one of these things, I am just thinking about, what I want to do to the car all the way. But we'll see. To be honest, there's a lot of thought involved, and of like what all do I want to do realistically to the motor. I know what my goals are, but what will that require? Stuff like that, right? Exactly, and like I really appreciate that. To be honest, it's one of these things. Like because that car, it's kind of a famous car to a certain extent. Like it's not like oh my god, I go anywhere and people are gonna recognize it right away. No, I don't mean it that way. But it is a very recognizable car, and I've driven it to a bunch of different places, and like as like the more I grow, the more I get recognized, which is so cool. I love that. And I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for the day that somebody asks for an autograph. It hasn't happened yet, but I'm waiting for it. And when that day happens, my heart is just gonna melt. I'm gonna be so happy I might even cry. But until then, I hope to God you're not asking for feet things, because if you are, you will be blocked from my chat. Because you just put some feet emojis in the chat. So, that's weird. I hope that's not what you're asking for, not what you're hoping for. Because if so, I find that weird. And this is an automotive channel. This is not anything for fetishes that way. So if that's what you want, please leave. I'm hoping, like I said, that's for something else. Hoping to God. Because I hate to have that discussion. But, yeah, no. It's just one of these things. And I like the unique factor of my car. And, like, because then, you know, it'll never be, like, officially done. And, hey, that's one of these things. When people come into my chat and they do that, I get very weirded out. Because I haven't a lot. Like, it's so dumb. Anytime I post a cold start video, hey, look at that, it gets like 7,000 views because of weird perverts. That, like, there's this whole subsect of, like, a foot fetish thing that's called pedal pumping, and it's just freaking bizarre. Like, not into that at all, obviously. You know, like, I'm happy that, you know, some of these videos get the views that they do, but I don't like the reason why they get the views that they do, so I don't like doing them because of that. And I only do, like, cold start videos as kind of like filler videos, to be honest, when I don't have a lot of content. So, it's the only reason why I do them, because when you've seen one cold start with the same setup, you've seen that cold start. And the only time where it gets interesting is like, hey, if it's like minus 40 outside, like, is the car going to start? It is carburetor, after all. But yeah. But beyond that, let's see, because, you know, look, it's like after I have like the header installed, after I have the subframe connectors installed, what I'm thinking of doing after that is actually tackling, maybe doing, like, saving up to install a cam in the car as an example, and then saving up to actually get the head, like, machined out, or see if I can find a rarer head, like, if I could find an Aussie 250 head, that'd be really cool. And not like the crossflow head, because that requires a lot of modification when it comes to actually getting the head to bolt onto the American blocks, but yeah. Well, see, like, and that's the one thing, like, if people want to do that, like, that's fine, and doing it for charity, like, that's cool. Uh, it's still kind of weird. Well, here's the thing, like, and liking feet, because it's a fetish, right? And the fact that, like, you kind of get off and you get excited by feet when, especially, like, this live is obviously not about that at all. This is about, like, cars and the car hobby and stuff like that. That's what this is about. And then I have people like you that go into my videos and ask for these weird cold starts, like, oh, can you do this? You know, can you do a cold start like barefoot, or can you wear like nylons? And again, I know what you're doing with that, and it's just weird. I don't care that you're into that. That is fine. Like, but for the love of God, keep it private. Like, you know, I don't talk about, like, my sexual fantasies or whatever on here. That's not what this is for. So, why do you think that I would like to see your sexual fantasies on my live or on my videos? You know? I'm a woman in the car hobby, and it's just weird. ALRSTRU. I mean, it's fine, but, like, again, just think about how there's a time and place for that sort of thing, and that's not my channel. Period. So, if you want to talk cars in here, cool. If you're just looking for that, you can just leave, to be honest, because I'm not dealing with that at all. But anyways, so like I said, so after I get the header installed in the car, and after I get, like, because I think it's going to be go header, subframe connectors, and then cam, and then like I said, the head that way, right? Getting that all done. Well, exactly. See, and that's the one thing because I don't know. Because I haven't really researched it too much. If you could actually buy like good forged internals for a one of these inline sixes, or is it that I have to get those custom made? Which getting that stuff custom made is going to cost a pretty penny, to be honest. And I just don't know. Like I know the bottom ends in those, like they're not bad. Don't get me wrong, but they're not amazing. Like I would love to, okay, yeah, get the internals built out so that it can handle a bit more boost, stuff like that. Like if I could push, like say, let's just say like 12 to 15 pounds of boost, that'd be cool. Stock internals can only hold about 10 pounds of boost, so it's not really like needing a lot. But I like to also like overbuild my vehicles instead of underbuild them, because the reason for that, and the reason why overbuilding is good when you're building a car, is so that there is room for, hey, it should not break when you're doing this, right? It should hold up to what you're doing when it's overbuilt. So that's why, like, as an example, my car, it has an 8.8 rear end. I don't have enough power to break that rear end. But oddly enough, like with a 7.5, I could potentially break a 7.5, but not an 8.8. So that's good. And oddly enough, like if I wanted to ever put slicks on my car, I could. That would just be like the slicks would just be for like track days and stuff like that, which I'm tempted to actually get a decent set of slicks to put on the car just strictly for track days. I've thought about it. But the only thing is I don't do enough track days and track stuff to really have slicks on the car, so I'm probably not going to. But it's something I thought about. Because yeah, if I just had more money and stuff like that and could go to track days more often, then I would. And I would do that in a heartbeat. It'd be fun. But, I can barely afford to buy cheap used tires. Like there are days and it gets rough. Some months it gets rough, but especially this time of year, unfortunately, that just like because during the winter, like from basically around December to about February is kind of YouTuber hell, because that's when like our content kind of dries up a bit, but then also we just don't tend to get as many views, which is strange because you would think that in those months that if there is content, a lot of people aren't going out as much anymore, so they're more inclined to watch your content. But in reality, no, your content isn't pushed out during the winter time. It's bizarre. I don't understand why. It's totally backwards to what you would think. So, that's one of these things. And, and hopefully, like I said, I can maybe build this YouTube channel to actually be my livelihood in the future. It'd be really cool. But right now, it doesn't do that yet. It'd be nice if it did, but it doesn't do that. It's just one of these things, right? And, what can you do? What can you do? There we go. But yeah, as one of these things, and I'm not like saying, "Hey, give me handouts" or anything. No. I'm just bitching about my financials. It's fine. Because and like, and eventually, it'd be nice, and it'd be nice to have just like a comfortable sort of amount of money to be able to do all the stuff I want to do and whatever. And I just don't have that. It takes me a while to accrue enough money just to do small things. And that's okay though. But like, and that's the one thing that I like about my channel to a certain degree, because it shows the realistic side of the car hobby. Because a lot of channels don't do that. They show, hey, look, oh, here's this Holly sniper kit that costs $2,000, and oh, hey, I got this awesome Willwood brake package, and that's cost another $1,500. And it's just like, that's not realistic to the average car person. The average car person can maybe afford to do like a few $100s in work on their car every few months, right? And that's why like I do my sort of channel the way I do it. It's just to show people that hey, this is anybody can make content just like I do. You can go out with your phone on a tripod and just shoot away, right? And it's great. And I don't really do much editing because again, it shows the realistic side. It's raw, and you see all of my mistakes, all this different stuff, which is great. You know, um, it sucks like when I make mistakes and like if you watch my oil change video, yeah, I made a few mistakes doing that video, but what can you do? It's not the end of the world. The stuff that happened, it's just annoying what happened in that video, and it was kind of a, watching it back is kind of fun, but oh, exactly, right? Like, and that's the thing. Like, if I get merch, which like I've been talking about it to a friend of mine that she has her own clothing company and whatever else, and she's making custom clothing and stuff like that. Like we've talked about some stuff, and we haven't really ironed out too many details. Because I've actually offered like, hey, if you want, because like I will order stuff for myself and to either give away or to just sell to people direct myself, or I can take a small percentage. You can sell some of my merch on your site. I will promote your site, and like I said, you just give me like a 10% commission on the stuff that you sell that is mine, right? And that'd be perfectly cool with me, right? And the prices for her stuff is actually not too bad. It's like $20 shirts and stuff. Compared to like a lot of YouTubers, like you mentioned, their shirts are like 40, $50. Their hoodies are like $80, and it's like why you don't need to do that, but it's because they're like on a bigger scale and because they can. But for me, like I don't really want to make a lot of money on merch. I'd much rather, if people want to buy merch, they can, and it should be affordable to do it. And that's why like I have a deal with her where I can get stuff fairly cheap actually, straight from her, and then like I could, for me to like just either break even or turn a little bit of a profit, like I think I'd have to sell it for like $30 or $35, but that's Canadian, right? It's not too bad. But it's one of these things. I'd have to really look into it and see how much, because I think that's where I'd have to be approximately just to do that. So the thing is, the reason why that, and actually, this is actually an interesting topic. So Canada gets excluded from a lot of YouTubers and a lot of companies as well. Like I've had companies that have wanted to work with me, that um that have wanted to, hey, have me promote some of their stuff, which I am open to doing, to be honest. Like I have one thing that's coming or should be coming to me. It's not my usual thing, but hey, I will do it. And they said that if I do a good enough job, they would like to potentially work with me in the future on other products and stuff like that. I'm like, sure, that'd be great. Because it just happens to be like a USB plug-in thing for your car. Which, okay, cool. It's nothing I usually do, but whatever. I'll do it. I'll do a review on it. Why not? It's just gonna be interesting because they say they want it to be like I think they say 5 to 8 minutes long, or 8 to 10. I can't remember. I'd have to look at the email again. But But anyways, so beyond that, let's get away from that. That's something that should be coming hopefully before Christmas, because they wanted the video up before Christmas. But if I don't get the product before Christmas, that's on them. So, anyways, that whole thing aside, the reason why Canadians are actually, because like I have companies that reach out to me and they don't realize I'm Canadian, even though I like, it's easy to tell. You can just look at some of my stuff and just look, hey, look, Alberta license plate, Canadian. But the reason why actually comes down to the shipping price, which is dumb. Because like the thing is, my content gets pushed out to a lot more Canadians, so you get a better market that way, and it's not that much more to ship to Canada compared to shipping to the States. Like, as an example, there was a company that wanted to work with me. I can't remember the company, that they wanted to send me out a turbo and like some coilovers. and I would have, reviewed them and then installed them on my car and see just how bad or how good they were, right? And but then I told, I gave them my address and said, "Oh, you're in Canada. We can't do anything with you." Um, and it was just so dumb. And that's like a higher up decision, to be honest. And it's stupid. And YouTubers, a lot of the time, they don't want to ship to Canada either, which, again, why? Especially as a giveaway, It's a giveaway. It's not going to cost you that much more money. Like, come on, dude. And oddly enough, any time that I have done any giveaways, it's always been Americans that have won my giveaways. So I've shipped to the States. I don't care. Which I've only done, 2 giveaways on my channel. And I don't know if that carburetor ever got to him, to be honest. I hope it did. But, because that was shipped out, over a year ago. Well, that was, 2 years ago, I think. But yeah, and I haven't really done a giveaway since, because I can't really afford to do them. If somebody sponsored me to do a giveaway, I would 100% do it. But I just don't have the money for it. Or if I did a giveaway, it would be, okay, something I currently own, and that somebody would have to pay for me, somebody would just, if they won, and if they weren't local, they just have to pay the shipping on it. That's all I would ask for, just because I'm really low on cash typically. So, in the summertime I have more cash, but in the wintertime I'm just kind of very strapped for cash, super strapped for cash. So, yeah. But yeah, and it is just very stupid. And to be honest, and I can imagine getting stuff shipped to Australia can be a pain in the ass. I mean, overseas makes a little bit more sense. And Australia also, makes a bit more sense. Because going to Australia, yeah, it costs a lot of money to ship there. I get that for some stuff. And, and I know, because, I've looked into maybe, getting, seeing if I could find one of those Aussie, early 250 heads in Australia. I'd have to, trust somebody to go find it for me. And because that's the one that just bolts onto the American head, and it has the removable intake, and it's a wonderful head. But, it's one of those things. Or even, getting an entire, crossflow head, an entire crossflow engine shipped to me. Right? I would do that, but the cost of it would be insane. Because the engine itself is not that expensive, but the shipping would be stupid. Shipping an engine that far, even if I just got it to Vancouver. Actually, I'm trying to think. Can you get? Yeah, you can. You have to go that way. Yeah. So if I got it from Australia to Vancouver, well, that's still an 800-kilometer drive for me to go to Vancouver to go get it. Because otherwise, and then getting it shipped to my door would be even more money, and it's, But like I said, that's dreaming of stuff that would be really cool. But it's just that whole thing, and that's one thing. If somebody, that's true. Well, I mean, but shipping to Australia has always been more expensive. It's just because of where Australia is, right? And how big Australia is too. You're because people when you look at Australia on a map, you don't think it's that big, but Australia is actually huge. So it takes quite a while to go across the country. But yeah, because just where they're located, especially from a lot of content creators are in Canada or in the States. And yeah, and the pandemic has screwed up a lot of things, don't get me wrong, especially shipping prices and whatever else. And there's a video that's actually gone viral too, that, because in Canada, we're starting to get really, it's hurting a lot to do a lot of things. Everything is getting stupid expensive to do. So what I can imagine, to be honest, pre-pandemic, I'm sure it probably wasn't too bad. But, you used to be able to ship a car across the ocean for, it was I think it was about $2,000 or something like that, to get it to Australia, roughly $2,000 to $3,000. And now I'm sure it's closer to $5,000 or $6,000. Just brutal. the only way how I could make this work is if I found somebody that had a shipping container that had just a little extra room that would let me put, that engine in the shipping container, right? That'd be the only way, but that's not going to happen. So, yeah, it's about 2,500. Wait, how much is it to ship a car to Australia? What is it? There's no way. It's not 10 grand, is it? Because I know, I don't know what the Aussie dollar is compared to the Canadian or the American dollar, but like if it's like that, that's insane. Why does it cost so much? Jesus, that's brutal. Like, and I know because I can't remember if it was you or because there was somebody else that was either from Australia or New Zealand that was looking into getting me a crossbow head. To be honest, um, but then I realized how much custom work it takes to put a crossbow head on an American block. Not worth it. Just not worth it. Yeah, and I mean I know there's like a stupid tariffs on outside stuff to Australia. Like there's really ridiculous tariffs. And now what's so dumb about that though is because isn't there like a tax of like 25% on a vehicle that isn't a domestic to Australia? But the problem is that there are no longer any domestic cars to Australia. Like, cause other than I think, because I mean, there's still the Australian division of Ford, but that's it. You don't have Holden anymore. Like, which those were the only two companies that they had. They were domestic. So that way, it's just, and it's sad, and it's really dumb. And I wonder, like, did they lift that tax, or is it still imposed? I'm assuming it is because Australia. Ah, ah, having asthma sucks. Yeah, that's just sad. Like, and now, I mean, for anything that I'd want to do to like get something shipped from Australia, like, I don't even think it's economically viable anymore. Oh, that was coughing, not sneezing. But yeah, to be honest, because I would like to, I would love to import stuff from Australia, specifically when it comes to like car stuff, because Australia actually has, like, you guys have all the cool inline six stuff. Like, you guys made a Hemi head on a slant six. Like, and apparently, from what I've heard, you also had like six-pack setups for those too, which is just, it's wild to think six-pack Hemi slant six. Like, it's just, it doesn't compute in your head when you have those three combined together. But yeah, welcome to Australia. It's cool. You guys also have like the Bara engines as an example. And you have like the 250 crossflows and that sort of thing. And I'm sure there's probably some cool Chevy inline sixes too that you guys had. But I don't know much on the Chevy Australian stuff. And yeah, it's just that whole thing, right? And it's cool. And yeah, like Aussie Mopars are so neat. Like I got the privilege to film one last summer, and or not last summer, no, the summer before that, I think. And it was just an absolute treat to do. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, the RT Charger with the 265 Hemi 6 with triple Webers. Like, it's just so cool, you know? And it's just really amazing. And yeah, they do have a lot of good Cleveland stuff, too, because you guys liked your Cleveland blocks there. And there's a lot of aftermarket support for the Clevelands. When over here, there's like no aftermarket support for a Cleveland. But the Cleveland was only made over here for not very long. And then they modified it and called it the 351M after that, and 400M, but it's still technically a Cleveland. And that's the beauty, because like those valve covers that I have, like I'm selling them to a kid on Sunday. That they're Mickey Thompson valve covers. They're for a 351 Cleveland, but they'll also fit his modified. So, which is cool. Oh, see, I didn't realize there was a 245 Hemi too. I only know of the 265. That's cool. Because like, and that Aussie Mopar that I did, it was a 73 Charger that actually, it was an EJ, I think it was EJ 55. And it was a 770, which that has the 340 motor in it. And it was so cool to experience that car. I wish I would have been able to drive it, but I understand that he, I didn't even ask, but he said like you can't drive this, and like I said, I completely understand that. I wasn't even going to ask, but it was so weird driving in that, because like you notice like being a passenger in it, because for one, I'm on the opposite side of the car. And two, I'm looking at all Chrysler dash and instrument cluster, but it's on the other side, right? It's just so weird. Really cool, but weird. And even stuff like that, that I recognize from over here, but it's all on the right side of the car. And like you see the styling elements of that car, and like there's some CUDA styling elements and stuff like that. But what's interesting is like that car actually has aftermarket window louvers on it, which is cool. And yeah, like they also, the way that even the mud flaps were, because no American car ever had mud flaps as functional and as cool as what the Australians had. So on that car, it had factory mud flaps on it. They were stamped Chrysler and everything on the mud flaps. But instead of it just being, hey, mud flap that, just flops around in behind the tire and catches a little bit of it, they actually, they go down with a tire and then they follow the body a little bit out. So that it doesn't actually, fling mud onto the bodywork and like dirt and stuff, which is just like, that's just genius. That's genius. And it actually looks okay too. But for some reason, we can't do that here. Ooh, you had a 71 Holden HD Monaro? Those are such a beautiful car too. Like, Aussie muscle cars are just some of the coolest cars. Like, you look at them and they're fascinating to look at. And also, like, I saw, actually, it went viral. There was this auction for, like, kind of it wasn't a mint one. It was kind of trashed out a bit. Holden, like, I think it was a Holden Monaro. Similar year to that. And it sold for over, like, 120 or 130,000 Australian dollars or something. And it's like, what the hell? Like, why? Because I understand they're very rare. But I never expected them to be that expensive, Like, I can't remember what the final sale price was, but it was like a stupid price for basically a trashed out Holden that needed a ton of work. Now, I could say the same thing for some of the Mopars that sell over here, to be fair. But, yeah. They don't sell for quite that much, though. Like, I can't remember, like I said, it was like a year or two ago. But yeah, and that's just like a really cool car. And that would have been awesome to do. And that's the one thing. And I like those different and weird cars that way. And that's why, like, when I saw that car for sale, I immediately messaged the owner and said, hey, I'm an automotive YouTuber. can I do a video on this? And he graciously said yes. Which I think he still owns the car, actually. Because he still responds to some of the comments in there. So, hey, no worries. I'm in Alberta. It's almost 3:30 in the morning. I get it, Gurney. So, for you, it's 2:30, but I totally get it. And I definitely appreciate you coming out. You actually made this quite a very entertaining stream. Like, I didn't really expect to do this, but, you know. No worries, Gurney. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you have a wonderful sleep, and catch you in the next video, hopefully. And now, oh, is that what it was? Was it a Falcon and not a Holden? That's maybe what it was, actually. Yeah, see, you're in Australia, so it's not a bad time for you yet. You're very welcome. But yeah, it's just not like, and I love the Australian cars and car market, or not car market, but just like the Australian cars are just so neat, you know. And and like I said, you guys had that big foray with inline sixes, and I understand like there were racing series where it was actually very advantageous for these inline sixes because a lot of these racing series only allowed, it was like 240 or 250 cubic inches, right? So I do know a little bit about that, and it's really neat. And like, and I wish there was more of an aftermarket like here for my car, but oddly enough, some of the parts actually ship from Australia, for my car, for my engine, even though it's a domestic, you know, block. But yeah, they make them in Australia, so it's like, okay. And like, and it's interesting because I think, and there's two, like, as an example, so there are 2 headers available for it, on the market for those inline sixes, and that's any of the 144s, 170s, the 200s, or the 250s. And what there's an eBay header that's cheap. It's like $170 US, right? And that's an okay header apparently. Then there is the Scott Drake header, which I think it ships from Australia. The Scott Drake header is like $560. And then there used to be a third header that was available, which is what I have, which is a Hooker Super Competition Series header. But that retailed about 20 years ago because they've been discontinued for about 20 years. It retailed for something like $1,500, like just insane price for this header. But it's a long tube header, and it's, yeah. Ooh. I gotta look up actually what that looks like, but I think I know what it looks like. That said 76. Let me just double check. 76, yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna look that up really quick. But I'm pretty sure I know what that looks like, and it's a gorgeous car. Falcon XB. There we go. Yep, that's exactly what I thought it looked like. It's like, oh. See, we didn't have cars that looked that good in the 70s, and I wish we did. You know? And I don't get why. Like, why couldn't they have looked like that? Like, oh, that's just a sexy car. You know? But, oh, 75? I mean, hey, regardless, you know. 75, 76 is still like the same body style, right? It just, oh, that is so sexy. Even as a 4-door, they look really good. Like as a 2-door, obviously they look just primo, but you know, 4-doors look pretty decent as well. And it's interesting because like they call that, you know, like a full-size car, but they're not like that giant though. At least because the thing is that that Charger that I did that video on, when I looked at it, like basically like this is the size of, like, the Charger was basically the size of like a Maverick here, which we considered a compact at the time, funny enough. But full-size cars here, like, you know, we had the big ass, you know, like Cadillacs and Lincolns and stuff that were full-size. And then yeah, but again, your full size was like the size of like our Maverick, so it's kind of funny that way of how they were. Um, and it's nice that you guys didn't have to do the big garish bumpers like we had with the 5 mile an hour bumper BS. You know, because I understand why they did it. It was for pedestrian safety, but like, come on. Some of that stuff was so dumb because like you look at as an example with a 5 mile an hour bumper, the dumbest example of it not doing a damn thing for anybody. At least when it came to certain vehicles. So the 5 mile an hour bumpers that were on the US spec Lamborghini Countaches. So if you've ever been in front of a Lamborghini Countach, because I have, it takes you off at your ankle, right? That's just where, it sits that low to the ground. So if you're getting hit by that as a pedestrian, I'm sorry, you're screwed. Like, no bumperette that sits about that much higher than it is going to help you. So I thought that it should have been exempt from that, but it did not. XC Fairmont. Let me look that up. Actually, what does an XC Fairmont look like? Ford Fairmont. Oh yeah, cool. Because like it's interesting because like you guys with the Fairmont name went for a lot like because we only used the Fairmont name for a grand total of 4 years. From 1978 to 5 years. From 1978 to 1983, we had our own Fairmont, but that was based off the Fox body, and then you guys had that. Yeah, and you had the and you can have a Cleveland, or you can have that straight six, that 250, which and the crossflow, like that's the dream, Put a nice crossflow engine in my car. Because it would boost power exponentially, to be honest. It would bump the power from having, about 90 horsepower to the wheels to about 140, 150, just right off the hop. Like, yeah, like, I wish. And someday, who knows, I might be able to find one, because, like, there was a guy selling one. He didn't know what he had. I don't think. Because he sold this crossflow engine that in the States, and it was up for sale for $650. He sold it for $500. It came with a transmission too. Like $500 for that, that's a steal and a half. But it was just a little too far away from me, and I didn't have the money for it because I would have snatched that up immediately. And because I believe all of my because like I believe they have the same bolt pattern as what my engine has. So, with the high mount starter and everything. And yeah, I would have just put my manual transmission behind it and everything, and it would have just been so amazing. Now, the only thing is, I think those 250s, I'm not sure if the Australian 250s have the taller deck height or not. Because if they did, I mean, so what? I would make it fit. I don't care. If I have to cut a hole in the hood, I'd cut a hole in the hood. I don't care. And then people would look at the engine and go, whoa, that's weird. Because they do look a little weird. Like, their valve covers aren't tall, like, they're a lot thinner, right? Compared to our 250 valve covers, that is the same as the 200 valve cover, that's, like, kind of tall. And it's just one of those, some of those things that are just so interesting about the Aussie cars. And Aussie performance. Because like when my dad actually, because we thought about, and I don't even know like if they're really compatible or do you have to modify it, which probably has to be modified. But like, because me and my dad talked about when he had his Slant 6 81 D150 is we kind of thought about, well, like, could we take the head off of one of those Hemis and put it on this? And I don't know if it would just bolt right on. I don't think so. They're probably different blocks. But if you could, that'd be really awesome. And have that much better flowing intake and have a nice 2-barrel setup on there, or maybe a 4-barrel. Instead of having the little 1-barrel that we got over here. Just, yeah. That's one thing. The Slant 6, we only ever got a 1-barrel or a 2-barrel on the Slant 6. Ever. We never got multiple carbs. We never got, like, super nice flowing stuff. Nothing. The only nice flowing stuff was aftermarket. And all the aftermarket intakes are 4-barrel. None of them are 2-barrel. So it's just that whole thing. And then for some reason, over here they stuck with the inline 6 with having it the intake cast into the head. Dumb design, but what can you do, right? What can you do? See, and I know you guys did have a 225 Slant 6. But I don't know, like, were they the same blocks as, like, the, like, the Hemi heads? Or no? Because that's the one thing that I'm not sure on. And, because I know, like, a lot of like, some of that stuff was completely different from each other, right? And I'm not sure. Actually, let's look this up. Can you put a... If I can spell put, there we go. Put an Aussie Slant 6 hat, Aussie Hemi Slant 6 head on US blocks. Ah, okay. Yeah, no parts interchange apparently with the Hemis compared to the regular 225. Huh. Okay. Well, that answers that. Damn. Because also apparently it's the engine itself is actually longer than the 225 by like 4 or 5 inches. So yeah. Okay. Well, that answers that question. I've always wondered that because I never knew. But just need that thing to pop up. The more you know. But yeah, to be honest, I'm not sure what else to talk about. I'm also getting a little tired too, so I might actually end the live, to be honest. Even though the VK Valiant hardtop. Actually, hang on. Let me look up what that one looked like. VK Valiant hardtop. Not VJ. No. VK. VK, not VJ. VK. Okay, the VK was essentially oh yeah, that was the... Yeah. That was the car that I did the except for it wasn't a hardtop, it was the coupe. Like yeah, the VJ is the one that I did a video on. I believe. Or maybe it was... No, mine was EJ maybe. But regardless, like it was a 73 that I did a video on. 73 Valiant Charger. Which I wonder actually, if I type it in on Google, does my video pop up? It probably does. I'm gonna assume. Because there's not much content on Valiant Chargers. Let's just go type, look, videos and see. I mean, there is some content, but hey, there's my video. You gotta find a bit, yeah, because mine, the video that I did, the E55. Because, well, here, if I... Yeah, because... that's the car that I did that video on. Right? Yeah, because it's 1973 Valiant Charger E55 770. Which is so weird to have Valiant and Charger both in the same name. Which, because over here, like, the Valiant was one car, and also a Valiant was a Plymouth, and the Charger was a Dodge, and they were on two totally different platforms. And then to see those two names as one, because Australia, you know, like, it was very, very interesting. And yeah, like, and seeing under the hood and everything, and like, yeah, it's all like all recognizable Mopar underneath that. E46. Now, what was the E46 Charger? Because I need to look that up. Because again, I don't know my Aussie Mopars that well. I know I like them, but E46 Charger. Oh, hang on. 46. See, now the thing is, when I type in E46, I'm not finding the Aussie Charger. Australia. Yeah, again, it's not showing up. Because it's just, when I type in E46 Australian Charger, it's just showing E46 M3s. Not the same car. Like, definitely nowhere near the same car. But, yeah, I'm not sure what that looks like. Because, again, it's not showing up on my phone. So, when I looked that one up, which is disappointing. Oh, same as EJ55, just different options. Ah, okay, fair enough. So which engine did that one have then? Was that like the Hemi powered 6, or was that the, because that wasn't the V8, obviously the 340, like the one that I saw had. Which is interesting because actually the V8 powered ones are far rarer. That is the 265, okay. Because apparently, like, the Slat 6, like the Hemi 6s are actually more plentiful than the V8s were. Because they only made, of the V8s, there was only like 200 and something of them made. It was 216 or something. I'd have to look back on my video. I can't remember all the details on it. And that's the one thing, like, because when I saw the car, like, I was able to do a little bit of research, but not a ton, because there isn't, like, a ton of information on them out there, without just, like, doing hours and hours and hours of research. So I just wanted to do, like, just a basic little search and try and find some information on them. And yeah, and I got most of the information, actually, like, some of it from Google, and then the rest I actually got from the owner, Rick, which Rick is awesome. He's a great dude. Very cool car, and, you know, and it was just a lot of fun to be able to do that video. And I'm kind of saddened that that video only has 5,000 views. I expected it to do better than that, but, you know, it's how it goes. Oddly enough, I think the one that I did on the Ford Durango actually did better. But, YouTube Studio, there we go. Let's just see, because I'm going to look that up, actually. So, videos, let's just search. Let's see, Charger. Search. Yeah, that has just over, yeah, it's about 5,000, yeah, about 5,000 views. But yeah, which is something that you never, ever, ever see, period. But yet, I mean, the Ford Durango, you never see those either. However, yeah, and the Ford Durango video has like 5,300 views. And I did those both at the same time. It was kind of neat. And hi, Roscoe. Hi, buddy. What you doing? But yeah, I was hoping like those videos would do better than they did. I thought they would have because, like, and it's still good. Don't get me wrong, very good views for the videos, but there's not a lot of like content on either of them. The Ford Durango or that, because I mean the Ford Durango is actually a far rarer car. They only made 212 of those, but and what's funny is this like I know a guy that has I think 7 of them. He's down in the States, and I want to get down there so bad, and I'd love to do, just like filming all of his Durangos. And he actually, if I was local to him, he has a car he would give me for free because he has a Mercury Capri, Bubbleback RS that he would just give me for free if I was down there. But I'm not down there, so sadness. But that's okay. It's sitting out in the field, and it might just be a parts car more than anything, but who knows? Well, yeah, that's true. Like, and anybody that comes across my content, like, it'd be nice if people did like the videos more, because yeah, anytime there is interaction with the video, whether they like the video, whether they comment, they share it, it gets more views because it's more interactions with the video. Rascal, come here, bud. Fail. Fail, sir. Come here. Come here, buddy. Hey, no, that's cool. And like, because like I said, you've been a fan of my channel for a while. Like I've, and the only time we really interact is when I do these late night lives, and you just happen to be around. And it's great for that, because for you, like, this isn't like super late. For me, this is almost 4 in the morning. But which, like, I'm not gonna do the live for too much longer because I didn't expect to be live for this long. Like, I expected this to be maybe like a 40-minute live, and it's been a good conversation. And it started out with some shitty stuff, and then now it's it's a cool, good conversation as always, Peter. And it's always wonderful to see you in my lives too. I always really enjoy seeing you down there, because yeah, and you're not like super long time watcher of my content, but you have been watching it for a fair amount of time, which is cool. Oh, exactly. Hey, kitty cat. Hi, buddy. Yeah, and I always have fun, doing my content, and I can't wait to put out more content, and to get, and build my car to what I want it, and to see, like, not only, okay, how the build really goes, and, when I show that, hey, this car will beat up on, like, stock Aero GT Mustangs, that sort of thing. It would just be really, really cool. Because what I'm gonna do is to prove that it will, once I'm done, once I'm like pretty sure that it should do it, and there'll be a bunch of testing, whatever else, and I'm gonna have a race. I will find somebody with a stock Aero GT Mustang, and or potentially slightly modded, but nothing like too major. Like maybe it has an exhaust on it, and, small things like that. And we'll race, and we'll see which one is faster, and hopefully I am at that point. And oh, exactly, and that's one of these things, and like I wish I had more money to really get my build to where I want it, but until then. Oh yeah, I got the leg going. Yes, I got the leg going. Hey, buddy. Yeah. Sorry. My cat's really loving his lovin's. You rascal? Mommy loves you. Yes, I do. Um, but yeah, like I am honestly just excited for that. Cause who knows? Like who knows what's down the pipeline. Um, and then because once I get my car to where I am very satisfied with it, which once I have the header on it, to be honest, I'll be quite satisfied with the car, and because it's going to gain a bunch of performance out of that, and I can't wait. And to hear the sound difference it's going to have, and you know, and just how much prettified it's going to be under the hood with that header on it. Because with the stock manifold, it just kind of looks like crap, but with that long tube header, it's going to be amazing. And yeah, and then I will race other comparable cars, like take similar year like Camaros Z28s and stuff, and race those too, and just see, because it'd be kind of a cool like comparison thing, and I can go over the sort of cost that I actually have roughly into the car when it comes to just the performance side of it, which oddly enough, for performance, I haven't really spent that much money yet on the car. Like my biggest sort of thing was, that T5 cost me, like that T5 cost me a grand total for everything about $1,000. But everything else, not really, you know. Um, and to get my engine to where I'd want it to be, like, yeah, it'd probably be somewhere around $3,000. I would assume. I'd have to like actually research into that. Um, actually, let's just see. Do they actually sell forged 200 internals online? I don't think they do. Ford 200 cubic inch forged internals. Um, so I guess you might be able to you might be able to get forged internals. Um, or at least forged pistons. So I can get forged pistons, but connecting rods, I think I'd have to get custom made. Let's just go Ford, because I'm just gonna look it up because I'm not sure. Forged. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. I'm looking up something here. I didn't know this. Um, because apparently this guy's going. Another alternative to the 206 connecting rod is the Pinto 2-liter connecting rod. The 2-liter rod length is 4.977 inches. The big end is 2.1654 inches, and the small end is 24 millimeter. There are custom H-rods available in 5.050 length and um, interesting. So that might actually Interesting. Okay. And some like Kent ones too might actually work. Hmm. Curious. I'll have to do more research on that because again, I haven't really done much research into like getting internals for that engine, just due to the fact that it's been kind of like a thing that like, oh, that's gonna be way in the future. I'm not even gonna bother really doing that for a long time. So, oh yeah, like I'd have to research it, and I would actually have to talk to like an engine machinist that way, and just to see what they would recommend. Because if I give them the connecting rod specs for a 200 cubic inch motor, see what they recommend and see if there's any forged ones available, right? Because yeah, I would love to get forged connecting rods, forged pistons, right? Um, the crank itself, I don't think I'd have to upgrade the crank. The crank could probably stay stock, more than likely. Because otherwise, I think I'd have to get like a custom made crank, which good luck. That's gonna cost a ton of money, and you know, but that's just this whole thing, right? Because actually, let's look up. Hang on. Ford. Hang on. Ford 200 cubic inch. Um, clicking rod size. There we go. Ooh, hang on. I found Australian website that actually does sell 200 cubic inch connecting rods that they're pricey though. Holy crap. Um cuz yeah, let's look at this. Yeah, they do sell. Interesting. So but these are pricey. Holy crap. Like so these are 548 US dollars. But they are forged. Which that's not bad to be honest. Um this is Spool Imports. I've never heard of them, but interesting. So at least they are like they are available. That's good to know. And like you can get connecting rod upgrades or like the bolt upgrades, and you can get better ARP bolts, or you can just have the standard ARP bolts. Um you and and you can get connecting rod bearings to these guys too, which actually those are only like 47 US dollars too. I can imagine that the shipping cost would be immense. So I'm gonna look that up actually. What would the shipping be, just out of curiosity? Hey, I added that to my cart. Come on now. Add to cart. I don't want to. There we go. Let's just look this up because you know what? I'm live and it's just like, why not? Let's check this out. Estimated shipping and tax. Ooh, wait, what? Oh, for sure. Yeah, like the weight would make it stupid expensive. Ooh, wait. How does that go up so much? Like, I am confused by this. Hey, let's go back to the website because I think it screwed something up here. Because it accidentally added 2 of these to my cart, and I only want 1. What? Update. No, I don't want 2. I want 1. This stupid website. There we go. I don't like this Australian website. It's dumb. Okay, yes. Remove. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's try this again. Don't have 2. Have 1. Update cart. And let's see. So, yeah. So this is a possibility. I didn't think you could get forged ones for your forged connecting rods for 200 just straight up. I didn't know that. And apparently they do ship to Canada, which is nice because a lot of these companies won't. And that's frustrating as all hell. What did that say? I thought I saw something else in the chat. Okay, that was weird. Okay, why is this not working? This dumb site. There we go. Okay, now I figured it out. This site is just like, just kind of slow, and it's not really working all that well. So let's see here, because it was like saying like $1,300 for Okay, so it'd be $731 to get these. Going to get a hat from the States. 4,500 US to ship a hat, but a hat weighs nothing. Like what's up with that? That's messed up. But yeah, because the shipping, like, it is expensive, but it's not as bad as I thought it would have been. Like 184 US dollars to ship. Now here's a question though. What is that in Canada? Canada dollars. To cat. There we go. There we go. So that's just under 1,000 Canadian dollars. Whew, pricey, but forged connecting rods. That'd be cool. I don't know how much power they actually hold up to. But because now, okay, so it'd be that much, and then what about 200 cubic inch forged pistons? So I don't think I can actually get forged pistons though. That's interesting. I can get forged wait, what? Oh, perfect. And actually, you can get classic inlines. Oh, damn. They had forged pistons that they used to sell on classic inlines, but they don't anymore. Hmm. Oh, that's for the crossflow. Hmm. Okay, well, that answers that. So I can get forged connecting rods, and I could probably find forged pistons somewhere. It would probably cost me in the neighborhood of, I'm just gonna assume, around $1,500 when it's all said and done for all that, which that's to be expected, to be honest. Um, and then the rest of the machining to like the head and stuff like that would probably in the neighborhood, like port, polish, and machine out the intake to accept the T-barrel outright, would probably be in the neighborhood of, yeah, about $1,500 I would expect. So yeah, actually, my assumption of about $3,000 is almost bang on. But that's not doing any machine work to the block, though. But I don't think I'd need to do any machine work to the block. I think it'd be okay. Um. So yeah, interesting, interesting. That's some good stuff to find out. Cause yeah, you know, in the future. And that's the one thing, like, and shipping for anything. And actually, because there was this thing that went viral, actually. So this video of this woman, she was eating some carrots and just saying, "Hey, like these were from Canada, like, and they're only 83 cents is what she paid for these at the store." But yet, and they were from, I think it was Brampton, Ontario. And yet this guy who lived in Markham, Ontario, which is like maybe a 300-kilometer drive from Brampton, paid for the same bag of carrots. It was $3, which just goes to show how stupid some of our taxes are and stuff like that. When an American can get our stuff cheaper than we can get them domestically, is ridiculous. But you know, it's how it goes, unfortunately. And you know, like the cost of things lately here in Canada has gotten stupid. Now, hopefully, um, because there's a move now, and like majority of the province, I guess, or provinces are getting on board with this to remove the carbon tax, which would be nice because you know, on a day-to-day expenses, that's getting a bit stupid with how much that is costing people, and you know, it's making gas, you know, 14 cents a liter more than what it was. Um, so, which that's a big jump, to be honest. Which it's nice because actually gas went down by about 15 cents the other day. It's freaking fantastic. Like I didn't put gas in my car, and I was so happy to see that the local gas station here, it's a $1.25. I'm like, ooh, that's cheap. You know, comparatively to what we had. You know, because it was like $1.40 for a while for gas per liter. It was just ridiculous. Now, and I know saying those numbers, yeah, we did. On at least cars that are considered luxury, yeah, there is a luxury tax. There's also a gas guzzler tax. There is a few different taxes, to be honest, on cars themselves. And there's also taxes on goods and services, and you know, and it's just very annoying, to be honest. Um, but you know what can you do? Like, there's not too much. You can't really fight taxes too much. But oddly enough, like the provinces are starting to fight some of these taxes on the federal taxes, which is nice, and hopefully they do because like it would help so much with how much you know that way, and I can't wait for hopefully that does do that because like I think it's out of all the provinces that we have because we have 9 total provinces and I think there's 6 that are fighting this carbon tax. So, and that carbon tax affects everything. It also affects like heating in homes. You know, it costs 14 cents a liter more for the gas that's being run here, and we're also facing like huge inflation rates. Like it's ridiculous, and we really need to curb that. as much as possible. And we're heading into another recession too, which is great. Which I mean, the recession will drop prices on a bunch of stuff, which will be nice. But I just and it's sad that hey, there's going to be 2 recessions within like my lifetime. That's sad. I've only been around for 27 years so far. Even though people think I'm younger than that, but no, that's the truth. Like people think I'm like 18 or 19 years old, but in reality, no, I am 27. I had a girl actually. She's from Alberta and she's a hockey player, and she's a goalie. And she was in my TikTok live earlier, and she thought I was like 18. I was like, no, I'm 27. And she was just so surprised by that. Oh, I can imagine, because I know like you guys have stupid taxes. Like the taxes I complain about are nothing compared to Australian taxes, I'm sure. But it's still getting really bad for Canada though. And like we don't have like a huge population here in Canada. Like we have I think it's like 33 million total people across the entire country. When in other places, like, in the United States, there's like 10 times that population. So, yeah, and I just, yeah. And actually thinking about it, like other things that I want to do to the car, because I don't want to keep this hood that's on it right now. I hate that hood. It's freaking horrible. It looks fine, but it's a terrible hood. I want to put my old hood back on the car so that actually kind of matches the car, and put my hood scoop back on the car. But I need to fix that hood scoop, which requires fiberglass work, and I have a fiberglass kit. I've just never done fiberglass work, and especially structural fiberglass work. Like I know what's involved with it. I've just never done it, and I would need to pick up a couple, like just a little roller for it too, so that I can physically roll the fiberglass on properly, and I have to build up the fiberglass quite a bit too to fill in those voids and stuff, and just I don't know. Like I said, I've never fiberglassed anything in my life, so it'd be a new experience. But I'd also need to pick up some nice like N95 masks, and I would make sure that I'm wearing like long sleeves and everything, and gloves, and boots, just so that, and like pants, just so that hey, fiberglass doesn't get on my skin or anything. Because fiberglass is like I've had fiberglass on my skin, and it's awful. Like I've sanded on fiberglass, and I didn't know all this shit, and that was a mistake. So yeah, it also doesn't smell very good. That's true too. So that's just kind of the plan with that, because as much as I want to like, hey, make that hood scoop out of metal and weld it onto the hood, it's just probably not going to happen. So that, and I still have to fill the holes in the hood, and then I'd probably have to make a bigger hole in the middle, but ugh, it's just annoying, very annoying. We both know it. But actually, I think, because yeah, it is 4 in the morning. I should actually just sign off on the live. To be honest, I am getting really tired. I was tired 2 hours ago, but it's like, you know what? I just wanted to go on YouTube here and kind of just like, do a live for everybody here, because it's been a while, right? And it's so nice to talk to Peter again, because it's been a while since I've chatted with him. And yeah, because like I said, I think the only time that me and you like chat sort of thing is through here, and yeah, and yeah, I definitely should. So I've been going for almost 2 hours now, so that's pretty good. I didn't expect to be going for this long, but hey, welcome to when you start investigating on your car and you start having good conversations and that sort of thing. Because like I was on live on TikTok for like about 2.5 hours earlier, so. But anyways, yeah, thank you everybody else who's watched to the end. I really do appreciate you all. I'm gonna get some shut eye, Well, before I get some shut eye, I'm going to get myself a little something to eat because I'm hungry, and then I'll get some shut eye. But I will. You as well, Peter. I hope everybody in here takes care, has a wonderful sleep, a wonderful day, whenever you're watching this. I love you all, and I'll catch you soon. Boop-a-doop-a-doo.